Hello and welcome to Experiencing Love. I'm your host, Philip Jocks, and I'm so glad that you're here. Gotta make this fast because the sun is looking really beautiful right now, and I'm hoping to finish up this recording so that I can still see a bit of that sunset. So, with that being said, let's get right into it. If you can't tell, feeling much better. Yesterday, had to get off real quick, go right to bed. I decided to let myself sleep a little bit. I think I've been catching a bit of a cold and getting that extra rest so that my body can really recover. Well, it felt like that's all that I needed. Whew, a little bit out of breath, ran up the stairs. But anyways, today has been a much better day all around. My feet are also getting much better. So the plans that I was talking about a few days ago, well, I'm putting those into action. I am making sure that I'm not ignoring the signs coming to me. I'm not ignoring my thoughts, my ideas, my desires, the things I know I need to be doing to move forward. For a while now, I've been pretty burnt out. I've been teetering on the border of burnout and whatever's right before it. I could tell I'm not at where I used to be. I know I'm capable of so much more. I know I can do more, be more, have more. I just realize now that in order to have all that, you have to have the systems in place to sustain it all, right? If you're going to overclock yourself in work, you have to make sure to give yourself more time to recover, give yourself more time to spend with friends and family or just people that you care about that light you up, right? If you're going to spend more time at work, you want to make sure that all other areas are taken care of, or at least you have a plan for what you're going to do when something falls off, you know? Nothing is harder than trying to overclock one area of your life and then a completely different area starts crumbling and now you have two big areas that you're focusing on. Because I promise when you have that type of split focus, anything else is completely not on your mind. There's only so much we can do. There's only so many fires we can put out before it's just too much. You're not going to be able to handle it. Some people may have a higher tolerance. They can put out fires that are bigger and for longer. And so when you see people like that in your life, just remember that you are not them, they are not you. They are probably putting out fires that are, for lack of a better words, in their wheelhouse. It's fires they like to put out or they're good at putting out. You have your own fires that you can put out just as easily. It just might be in something completely separate. You might be great at putting out fires in your family or relationship life. They're better at putting out fires in their health or their fitness or their money, whatever it is. Just know that we have different capacities. We react differently. We respond differently. I don't know. The point is, try not to compare yourself to other people. Try not to put yourself down if you can't handle a certain area of your life to the same level as someone else. I've done that for way too long. And if I'll be honest, it's one of those lessons I think I'm going to be learning over and over for a very long time. Because I just seem to be doing the same thing again and again. I feel great for a while, right? Like I was saying before, I was overclocking one area. I was focusing on my business, doing my work, making sure that I was showing up in those ways, but I didn't have a plan. I didn't have action steps. I didn't have an idea of what to do when I'm feeling lonely. Who do I go to? What do I tell them? What do we plan? I had none of that, right? I was so busy thinking about work that I slowly stopped exercising. And what's the plan there? Who do I talk to? How do I get out? What do I do? What exercises? What games? What sports? Whatever it is. I didn't have that plan. And if you don't have a plan, or as the saying goes, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Because I didn't have a plan, I was bound to fail at some point. The same could be said for my finances. The same could be said for then my business, right? Because you may have a plan for the one area of your life that you're trying to overclock, the one area that you're really trying to hyper focus on. But what's your plan when everything else around you is on fire and burning? Because at that point, you can't just sit in the flames. I think that's where and when you'll truly burn out. And at that point, the entire wheel's on fire. and you're left wondering, what do I do? Where do I go? Some people, when they reach that level, and you can see it on their face, they feel hopeless. They feel maybe even worthless, and it's really hard on them. I don't know what you're like. I don't know how you react in those situations, but I could speak for myself. I shut down. I wonder, why am I doing what I'm doing? Where am I even going? I don't have any results, so what's happening? I'm going backwards. These are all the things I'm saying to myself. And at this point in my life, at this point in the year, I felt like I was going really strong for the first 3-4 months. Yeah, I'd say about that. For the last 2-ish, I would say that I've been teetering on that burnout level where I have days where I have high energy. Kind of like today. I feel really great, but I know I have more in me. I know that when I exercise more and I'm more social, I know that it just brings a level of energy. It brings light into my life that helps me move forward, helps me just go, helps me create things and do things that otherwise are really difficult for me to do. I go from that to complete nothing, where I barely want to get up out of bed. The most I can do that day truly is check emails, because even sometimes an email can push me over the edge. I end up just going outside, sitting in a rocking chair, maybe enjoying a little bit of sun. And I know that in those moments, I'm doing my best. I know that times will get better. I know that it isn't forever, and it's just a hiccup in this journey, right? It's one of the moments where I just have to get past, because I know 5 years from now, I'm not going to remember this specific moment, but I'm going to remember, say, the theme of this time. And the theme is not giving up, trusting and believing that I'm going the right way. I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing. And I know that because of the work that I put in now, I'm going to get the rewards eventually. I truly am inspired more by the people that achieve their goals after years of trying. Because I guess I just admire a person who's willing to be persistent and not give up. I think giving up is so easy, and I would know because I've done it to so many things in my life. One of the fun parts about my flavor of autism is that I, like many others, can get an intense interest in something and fully dive right in. Like, I'm talking deep dive, only to suddenly lose interest in whatever it is that I'm doing. I think that kind of happened with me in parts of college. Like, honestly, sports are the biggest thing that this happens to. I was near obsessed with Ultimate Frisbee for just about a year before almost never playing it again. Same goes for volleyball. For about a semester, I played every single day, or at least 6 days a week, before rarely, if ever, playing again, right? That next semester. Because that transitioned to going to the gym, and I've done that routine so many times of gym stop, gym stop, gym stop. There's even a time in my life where I went as far as training for a skydiving license. And I did the ground course, and I jumped something like 6 times. And I loved it. I was reading about it. I was researching different people and versions like wingsuit diving and all that stuff, only to then realize that it wasn't the right time and I need to hold off. I need to wait until I have more time and energy to put into it. And I went on that long tangent to say that I've quit many things in my life, and each time there is this level of discomfort that comes with it, because for at least the months before quitting, all anybody saw was me being extremely passionate about it. And then what? It's suddenly gone? I didn't stick with it. I didn't go through with it. I don't know. Before really researching all this stuff about autism and how it's impacted my life, I've had conversations where people just have come to expect from me that I will become super interested in something only to quit. And that's an expectation that doesn't feel great, because that's not how I want to view myself. But it's also a case of whether or not it's my intention, it's my result. It's been happening. Regardless of the reason, that's what I'm creating. So sticking with something, well, that's something, I don't want to say completely different for me, but it's something that I could consider a challenge at times, but also most often something to be really proud of when I do stick with it. When I look at this show, this recording, these episodes, I think about it like this, how this is going to be the 173rd episode that I've done. I don't think I've ever posted 173 posts on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok. I don't think I've created 173, I was gonna say journal entries, but that's not true because I used to actually journal like 2, even 3 times a day. So there's definitely at least 173 days of those. But that being said, there's a lot of stuff that I've tried, that I've done, that I don't know if I've ever done 173 days of. I don't think I played volleyball for 173 days. I don't think I've done ultimate frisbee for 173 days. I definitely didn't skydive 173 times. So when I think about this show and I think about showing up and I think about how my main viewer that I'm doing this for is myself, and not in that like selfish type of way, but in that way of I would still be doing this if my follower count and my viewer count was 0, because I'm doing it for me. I'm doing it to see myself push through. And I would really enjoy seeing more people doing that. I love seeing a creator out there that is obviously making content for themselves. They're making content because they love what they're doing. When I find a video that has, I would almost want to say like an overly cringy hook or something like that, it actually makes me scroll away even faster. And that's just me. But I end up doing that because I find that that person is more focused on the engagement, on getting someone in to watch, to listen, to view, rather than focus on, say, a hook that feels almost more natural and more to what they really want to, say, talk about or do. And I get it. Hooks are meant to draw people in. I guess I'm just picky. And I know there's certain hooks that get me, and those hooks are because they make it less about the hook and more about the content, more about their creation, their effort, like what they're doing. And I guess I just want to see more of that. I want to see more of that because I want to do more of that. And maybe that's just wishful thinking. Maybe, and it's actually more of a most likely I have to conform in the other way because I'm the one that's, I don't want to say in the wrong, but in the slow lane. I'm the one that's not being as engaging or pushing out my content in a more efficient way. No, I'm doing things just my speed right now, and so long as I keep doing what I'm doing, I can't complain about my growth rate. I can't complain about whether or not I'm getting the views or the likes or the comments or the subscribers or followers, whatever it is that I want to be getting. I guess I don't have that level of engagement, or should I say, I don't have those types of hooks because I'm not looking for that high level of engagement in terms of just grabbing people and making them watch my videos. No, it's more of a, I'm doing this for myself and I'm not looking at the numbers. Yeah, even just admitting that, I know it's faulty thinking. I know at some point I will have to pivot and evolve. I guess my hope is that I could do so in a way that it doesn't feel like I'm selling out. I could do so in a way that doesn't feel like I'm doing it for the money or whatever it is. I want to make sure to stay as real and as authentic as possible in a way that I truly feel like what I'm putting out is me. I'm not the type of person that does these crazy hooks. I'm not the type of person that draws many people in, but I am the type of person that will take care of all the people that do get drawn in. When someone comes into my life, when someone comes into my circle, well, I'll show them all the love that I have. It's not about the total number of people that I can impact. It's more so the smaller number of lives that I could transform. And I'm not saying that I'm always transformational, but I am saying that it's more of my focus. I rather change the lives of 200 people than barely touch the lives of 200 million. if I had to choose between changing the lives of 200 strangers versus making 200 million people laugh for just a few seconds and then they forget about me, I will gladly take the 200 people, because at least then I know those 200 people can go out and change the lives of 200 other people. And eventually that ripple will reach 200 million. It just might not be directly from me. It might be just a couple chains down. I don't know. I don't know if that's the best way of thinking. It's definitely not, now that I even say that out loud. It's just the best with the resources that I have now. I'm doing the best I can, and I know you're doing the best you can with the resources that we have. Of course, if we had more time, energy, money, passion, we'd be doing more, but we don't. Not at this very second. So I'm not going to drag this out any longer. Admittedly, I doubt even 1% of people are going to reach this point in the video. And that's okay. That's honestly fine by me. Because right now, I am doing this for me. And I know I'll be here in a year from now. So I thank you so much for being here. I thank you so much for listening. I truly wonder if I listen to each and every single one of these outros when I'm re-listening to these later on. So Philip, if you're listening to this point, leave a comment specifically. I think that would be really funny to just see a year from now, or to do, and then a year after that. Okay, whatever. Not the point. The point is, have a wonderful day. Enjoy yourself. To see a smile, give a smile. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Oh, and last thing, remember to always fill up with the love. I love you.